You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Bold and Beautiful fans. Well, Brooke Logan is completely blinded, it seems, about what Hope Logan is really up to. And I wonder if that leads Brooke over to the dark side to join the coup. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I want to run through some of the inaccurate and presumptuous dialogue that came out of Brooke's mouth recently, because she's just, not seeing what Hope's up to, and that's by design and also by denial. Hey, please click subscribe if you're not following us. Let's dive in. So I suspect that Brooke is scrambling because she's in a position she's never really been in, having to defend Hope when she is very clearly doing bad things. Part of it is that Brooke doesn't want to believe these bad things that she's hearing, and so she's kind of turning a blind eye. And the other part of it is that Hope is hiding a lot of the bad things she's doing from her mother, very deliberate, very strategically. Now, don't get me wrong. I absolutely agree that Steffy should never have said she was ending Hope's line based on the Finn incident. But in that recent Hope versus Steffy fight this week, she circled back around to why they really ended Hope for the future. Low sales that weren't improving despite given lots of times to course correct. Hope argued that Steffy was targeting her because she's anti-Logan, but then she flipped it around and hit Hope with one stunning fact in particular. Steffy told her Carter also wanted to end Hope for the future because sales were bad and they had given her so much time to improve them. And that was really at the core of Hope's firing, despite the whole Finn thing. When Katie found out Hope is seeing Carter and the lingerie thing was about him, Katie actually thought it was great. She said, well, that should undo Hope's firing. But Brooke was talking to her sister and said, well, yes, but Carter's pulling a coup and Hope's involved, so it's not going to be undone. And then Brooke told Katie, there's no denying Hope was wronged by Steffy. And Brooke told her sister, this whole unfortunate chapter was set in motion by Steffy. I kind of disagree on both of those counts. We all know Hope for the Future sales were bad, and that's why Ridge, Steffy, and even Carter all agreed it needed to go. Beyond that, Hope was on Steffy's radar about Finn because of Hope's shady actions. And let's be clear, Brooke knew that Hope was lusting after Finn, and she was trying to shut it down, but she knew it was real. She just thinks other people don't know, so she's comfortable saying things that I think Brooke knows are not quite true. And Hope told Brooke that Steffy didn't deserve Finn, and Hope made it clear that Finn deserved a woman like her who would appreciate him when Steffy did not. And then Hope kissed Finn and told him she had feelings for him and, wanted him to lie to Steffy. If not for all that, Steffy would not have assumed Hope was making a play for Finn, because before that, Steffy had seen Hope standing close to Finn, talking to Finn, and it never crossed her mind that Hope was making a play until Hope started making plays. So Brooke is wrong. Hope set this in motion, not Steffy, if you look back to where it really started. And then Brooke said, even worse, Ridge is listening to Steffy and blaming Hope for Carter's betrayal. And that's her mindset. And so when she overheard Taylor and Ridge talking, Brooke comes in and says, I'm not defending her actions, but I'm not going to let you vilify my daughter. So just let's be clear, Brooke really has no idea how big or small of a role that Hope has played in Carter's betrayal. Viewers do know. Once Hope understood that those LLC papers meant that Carter could take over Forrester Creations if he put his name on the papers, Hope literally put her hand on Carter's and pushed it down to the paper and kept her hand over his until he was done signing. That's literally having a hand in it. Brooke doesn't know that, though, so she is speaking in ignorance just because she doesn't know. There's no facts there that she's working off of, just Brooke assuming that Hope wouldn't do this thing. And then Ridge said Carter wouldn't have betrayed him on his own, but Brooke was insisting that Carter did. Basically, she doesn't want to believe Hope influenced Carter, so Brooke is stating her assumptions, her opinions, as if they were facts. And Hope is actively hiding and withholding information from her mother. I mean, come on, the only reason Brooke even knew about the coup was because she eavesdropped on them plotting. Hope wouldn't have told her until it was done. Brooke has no idea whether or not Hope truly influenced Carter into this betrayal, into the coup, but viewers saw Hope. To me, it was like gaslighting Carter, telling him he's the leader that Forrester Creations needs. Hope sold Carter on this fraudulent idea that he has the right to take over their company to protect it from the Forresters' bad leadership. Even if Steffy and Ridge were making bad decisions, it's their company. And if they screw up and run it into the ground, then that's on them. And that's their choice. And if they don't like how Forrester Creations is being run, Carter and Hope can go work someplace else. And as for accusing Ridge of listening to Taylor and Steffy, that's another bad assumption by Brooke. We all saw Ridge came to that conclusion all by himself. And then he's the one who told Steffy what Carter was pulling and said it was because of Hope. What's interesting also is Brooke said Ridge can't blame Hope completely, but in Brooke's conversation with Katie, she was completely blaming Steffy. And then it got wilder when Brooke told Ridge he can't pick sides. I've been watching Bold a long time, and Brooke picked sides a long time ago against Ridge's kids. She judges Steffy and Thomas pretty harshly, and to me, it just looks like Brooke has pushed Ridge too far. He's been holding back a lot of harsh feelings about how Hope treated Thomas and why his son left town, but he had kept it like pushed down. And, you know, listening to Ridge now, I think he's like a pot that is finally boiled over about Hope. After hearing Brooke criticize his kids for years while she held up Hope as better than them, I think Ridge has just finally snapped. Circling back to Carter, Hope, and the coup, things go wild in this week's last episode. Carter filed the LLC papers, and Hope tells her mom, who is horrified. Brooke spent all day defending Hope and heaping blame on Steffy and Carter, and now they've just gone and done worse. So this can go one of two ways. Brooke can fight and, stick by Ridge, and go against Hope and Carter, but then that puts Brooke on the same side as Steffy and against Hope. So that seems kind of unlikely, right? Or Brooke can be so frustrated with Ridge and angry at Steffy and Taylor, thinking they're blaming Hope, that she goes ahead and sides with Hope, even if that means aligning with the coup crew against Ridge. So are Hope and Carter going to pull Brooke over to the dark side with them? To be clear, I do not think Hope is totally to blame for Carter's actions. I think he must be held accountable for his own choices, but Hope has been his cheerleader and has kind of gaslit him and also herself into believing they're doing something honorable when it's clearly fraudulent and wrong and probably illegal. Bottom line, Hope's line was going to be cut because it tanked, and Carter's grand scheme of making Forrester a luxury brand wasn't going to happen because the Forresters don't want to do it. Yet they're using these two events to villainize the Forresters and justify this takeover. Despite all of that, I am really looking forward to Carter taking over, and I hope he installs Brooke as his co-CEO rather than trying to pull Hope up into leadership. I mean, Brooke has been CEO before, and Hope is a bad choice because she can't run Hope for the future that well, so much less a whole company, right? Bear in mind, at the time I am making this video, I have not seen Friday's episode to see what Carter does. So please don't, drop comments assuming that I've seen it. I've not seen it. I'll talk about, what happens when I do the weekly spoilers on Saturday. But I feel like Ridge has drawn a line in the sand, and Brooke's trying to get him to erase it and agree that Hope is the the victim, not the perpetrator with Carter in this coup, and he's never going to agree. And that could drive Brooke towards the fraudsters that are taking over the company. So we'll just see how it goes.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.